And here we are on a fabulous Tuesday. Hello, SLAE family. I am so thrilled to have you learn about this incredible guest we have today and her program, which I called a unicorn because I don't think there's another one anywhere in the United States. So you will be truly inspired by not only the program, but even more so, her stance for young women to have an education and a bright future. So with no further ado, I'm excited to introduce to you our special guest, Dr. Doris Griffin. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you, Leanne. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to have you here. And before we do anything else, we'd love to know a little bit about you, just as a woman, a leader, a family person. Share a little bit about us, about your personal life with us, if you don't mind.
Certainly. Thanks for asking. I am the wife of one husband, Reverend Dr. Meredith L. Griffin Jr., the mother of two fantastic children, Rolanda Natalie Griffin and Meredith Lee Griffin III, both young adults. My daughter is 27, my son is 23. We live in Newark, Delaware. My husband and I pastor a church, Harvest Christian Fellowship, in Wilmington, Delaware. I am the daughter of Dr. Rowland and Marion Patterson. They have both gone on to glory, but great educators in their own right. And I'm grateful to be a part of continuing to hold up their banner for education. My daughter has picked up the family business with education.
Nice.
She's an elementary school teacher, about to begin her fourth year of teaching, going down into Silver Spring, Maryland, to teach there. So we're very excited for her.
Well, fantastic. I didn't know there was such a long tradition of education in your family. No wonder you have such a strong passion for it.
Thank you. Yes.
And in the middle of all that, you are the executive director of the Delaware Adolescent program. And it's an amazing program. And as I said, I think you're the only one around. Can you take a minute and explain to everybody what you do and who you are helping?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. The Delaware Adolescent Program Incorporated is almost a 54-year-old organization that exists to provide a standards-based education to pregnant and parenting teen women throughout the state of Delaware, along with unique outreach, mentoring, and supportive services. They also receive the opportunity to become self-sufficient in the services that are provided. We have wonderful opportunities to not just touch one generation, but we have the opportunity to touch at least two generations with the work that we are doing. We definitely believe that we are here to empower young mothers, not to raise additional standards, but statistics, but to create a standard of excellence. We don't want our young people to go out looking for a system to get on. We want them to become income generating, productive citizens in our great state of Delaware.
Oh, I love that. That is so exciting because for so many young girls, if they become pregnant, that's the end. And isn't it very common for them to just drop out of school?
Yes, it's very interesting, Leanne, because once upon a time, a pregnant teenager was an outcast. Many years ago, when DAPI started, that was the whole idea to capture all of the teen parents, teen moms, and kind of corral them all together. But now we see something different happening. What we see happening is Sarah, who may be an A student, she will be encouraged to stay in her home school. But Stella, who is struggling with grades, struggling with home life, maybe struggling behaviorally, who happens to get pregnant, she is relegated or she is delegated to come to be with us. But that's okay, because we want those who have been denied or who have felt rejected. That's who we want to serve. Now, we're happy if we get Sarah, but we understand that Sarah is going to be celebrated and encouraged and developed, and we want that for her. But Stella, on the other hand, she might struggle and she might slip through the cracks and become that statistic that I was talking about. And we don't want that for her. So we want to work with the more challenging cases, because we know the challenging cases can cause us the most detriment in the years to come. So we want to try to head things off if we are allowed to work with those that are not The Chosen. You know, there's a famous young person who is, I think, the most favorite, I mean, the most famous pregnant teenager. We don't talk about her much, but I'm going to tell you who she is. One of the most famous teen mothers is that of the mother of Jesus. Historians have stated that Mary was a teenager when she had the Immaculate Conception. And so she was shunned because she was, as you know, she was slated to marry Joseph, and she had premarital sex, so they thought. But we know through our own belief system that there was another situation that was taking place. But she and Joseph had no place to live, and so many of our DAPI daughters, as we refer to them, don't have a place to go. And so I know we're going to get to it in our conversation, but I just raised that because so many of our young women face so many challenges where they feel less than, not wanted, abused, or taken advantage of. And so we call our students DAPI daughters because I have a daughter. I know that many of our viewers probably have a daughter. And we want our daughters. I know I want my daughter to have the best, live the best, drive the best, talk the best, walk the best. And why would we want anything less for a DAPI daughter? If it is within our power, if it's within our wherewithal to provide that, why wouldn't we do just that?
You are a warrior for the underdog. It's incredible. And your passion and commitment is so clear. And I'm so thrilled that you are reaching out to these young girls because, you know, why should everything shut down for them? And I know one of the problems is that, you know, there is the social stigma, there's all of the pressure, there's all of those things, but then also there's a reality for a lot of young girls that if they are past the pregnancy part and they now have a baby, how do they manage that? And that's something that your program takes into consideration. Can you tell them a little bit about how you help young ladies with that program?
Yes, when a DAPI daughter comes to work with us, she's normally coming from a traditional school setting. She has her baby. We celebrate that, of course, because it is a blessing. Babies are a blessing. And so we don't allow the birth of a baby to be a burden or a hindrance to getting an education. So the crux of our program is to provide an education. Now, if Stella comes in the 7th grade, she may be with us until she is in the 9th grade to ensure she gets a good start into high school. If Stella comes in the 9th grade, she may stay with us until the 10th or 11th grade. And if she comes later, 10th, 11th, of course, we'll probably keep her until the 12th grade. But if she doesn't have child care for whatever reason, the baby is sick and can't go to child care, go to a daycare, we have the baby here with us because we don't want there to be any distractions or hindrances to getting a good education. And so it's not uncommon. We've got locations all throughout the state of Delaware. We don't want there to be a reason that you can't come to school. So if the baby is sick, bring the baby with the medicine. We'll swaddle the baby and we'll take turns with the baby, wearing our masks, of course, to ensure safety. But we don't want there to be any excuses. I'm a mom. I remember what it was like when my little ones were small. And we all remember, those of us that have had children, we recognize the challenges and the frustrations that can exist after being starved from sleep deprived, and having some other things take place. We recognize that those issues are real. So in our book that we sometimes hang our faith on, we are taught as older women to help the younger women. And so this is a prime opportunity for those of us that have gone ahead and been able to champion our call as mothers to help the younger ones to learn how to do the same.
Amen. You are just awesome. So with all of that, you really are taking away the obstacles, the excuses, the resignation, all of that stuff. And you've had some great success stories too. Would you mind, sharing one or two of those?
Sure. Thank you so very much. We currently have one of our own staff nurses. We have nurses in all three of our locations, and one of our nurses right now actually went through our DAPI program. We've had 2 or 3 center directors that were DAPI daughters and have gone on to get master's degrees and decided that they wanted to come back and work with us for a season. There is nothing like a DAPI daughter reaching the highest levels of academic success and desiring to come back and sow into the lives of those that are coming behind her. We have DAPI daughters all over doing all kinds of work, doing great things. And one of our DAPI daughters, for example, about 25 years ago, she worked with me when I was in another role here with the organization. She and her husband own a moving company here in the state of Delaware. They've been able to help us move from location to location. So
they became entrepreneurs out of all this.
Yes,
Great,
to see
great.
the entrepreneurial spirit not just bud but begin to bloom, and for us to be able to reap that harvest and participate in that experience is just amazing.
Incredible, just incredible. So with all these things you're accomplishing, you're knocking out all these barriers and helping all these young ladies. Do you have plans for the future, other things you want to expand to do? What would you like to see happen in the crystal ball of where this is all going?
One of the major things that's on my heart now to do is to expand to include residential programming. Some of our DAPI daughters become homeless. They're living with their own mothers, and for whatever reason, they have lost a stable place to live. And so we would like to be able to provide some type of transitional living, some type of transitional home where they're learning about home buying, where the focus then becomes workforce development. We do some workforce development in our program, but to be able to focus solely on that and daily living skills so that they learn about how to keep a home tidy, how to manage their money, how to be involved in adult relationships where respect is the order of the day. We're doing some of those things already in a modified fashion, but there's nothing like having a space where they have to care for their baby and they have sister DAPI daughters around them, and they're all learning together on a timetable that would enable them to have their own living arrangements.
That would be absolutely amazing, almost like a dorm, right?
Yes,
Excuse
absolutely.
me. And with all of that, are there any other programs like this anywhere in the country right now?
DAPI was at 60 plus, 50 plus years ago, was a model for the entire nation. Mrs. Kennedy came and visited at that time along with one of our founders, Dr. Lulu Nix, who is still living, I might add.
Oh, wonderful.
We know that there are portions of the program that are duplicated in some capacity. However, the way that we are fashioned and designed, it is not necessarily something that is done anymore because of the cost of the program. So we recognize that, but we are unique in the way that we are delivering our services. Our students come from traditional school environments and they attend our program as if they are attending a middle school or a high school program. In that, they will receive mentoring, maternal health services, child development, group counseling with a therapist. In addition to all of their academic studies, they'll also participate in group that would consist of learning about the importance of fatherhood, because we want to honor fathers. We are not into, and listen to me, we are not into male bashing. We don't want to diminish the importance of fathers. Fathers are critical in the lives of their children. And so we need our DAPI daughters to learn about that, because some of them do not have fathers in their homes. So they need to understand why it's necessary to learn about co-parenting if there is no longer a romantic involvement. So, we also provide the financial management. We have received scholarships from area universities for our students to attend four-year institutions, which is absolutely phenomenal. But let me tell you about some of the challenges, because I don't want to sugarcoat this experience. One of the challenges that we face with our DAPI daughters, mindset. Mindset.
Mm,
Sometimes it is hard for our DAPI daughters to visualize themselves being successful. If they've never experienced anyone being in their immediate peripheral area, for them to know how to look forward to a higher educational experience, they can't see it for themselves. They can't even see achieving an AA degree. And so we have to do more mindset work. And so
mm,
we need more mentors. We need other women that have been through a situation or a challenge and understand what it means to stand firm despite knowing that it's going to get rough. And we need
mm.
those stories. We need those women to come and be willing to stand with our DAPI daughters, not like another mother, but like a big sister. We offer something to our DAPI daughters at lunchtime, something called DAPI Daughter Dialogue. And that's when we have a woman from the community who doesn't mind sharing her story, sharing her testimony, be her a pregnant teen or not, just talking about the realness of life. Because we're living in a time where our young people falsely have a sense of entitlement. Well, I deserve this because.
Yeah.
Well, I need this, so I have to get it. We have to get our young people to get back to thinking about we got to work for what we receive. Now, trust me when I tell you, our DAPI daughters are not ashamed to talk about and look for work. So that's not their situation. But what they struggle with is seeing themselves as educated young
Mm,
women. And we know that if a woman has higher than a high school diploma in some type of specific training or a degree of some sort, the chances of her income capabilities drastically increase. So we really have a challenge working with mindset.
that makes sense. You're really shifting them from surviving to winning. You're really making a
Yes.
difference. That's amazing. So how can people support you? Obviously, support is really important, and we're going to give out your website. And I would imagine donations certainly would help.
Absolutely.
So, if someone can donate financially, that's great. And I always tell people, if you're inspired by a cause, don't, and I hope you don't mind me going off my little tangent here, but don't consider what you can give. If it's on your heart to give, just give. Because
Yes.
if a bunch of people do a little bit, it adds up. But
That's
let's say somebody is in a place where maybe financially they can't swing that. Are there other things that they can do to support you and these young women? Other things they can donate, time, items? What are the other options on the table to help you?
great. Thank you so much for asking the question. Listen, if you would like to make a donation, I encourage you to go to our website, dapi.org. That's D as in Doris, API.org. And there's a big red button on the front page, and you'll be able to move as you would like to. If you have small baby books, the old-fashioned kind that maybe your mom sat down or your dad sat down with you and read, we need those kinds of books. Why? Well, because we're teaching our DAPI daughters how important it is to read to their babies while they're still in utero. The
Mm,
baby gets accustomed to hearing mom's voice. The baby begins to learn vocabulary, learns language even before he or she can see his mom's face. And so we are asking for more baby books. So if that is something that you have, we would love to be able to receive those. If you have those and would like to send us that, send us an email at info@dapi.org. Let us know your interest and a phone number, and we can call you and give you the shipping address. Another thing that we would love to have you do is to send another email to info@dapi.org and let us know that you'd like to be on our newsletter list. We would love to be able to keep you current with all of the success stories and all of the activities that are taking place, because we need more folks involved in this work. And last but certainly not least, maybe you live outside of the state of Delaware, but you still have a story. maybe you'd like to share something and have a pen pal relationship. We'd love
Mm.
to have you write back and forth with one of our DAPI daughters. Again, send us an email at info@dapi.org and we can connect you as a distance mentor so that you can encourage our DAPI daughters that they are not in this world by themselves, that they do have people all around them encouraging them and willing to champion their encouragement by giving them a few words every now and again.
You are an amazing woman. And these young ladies, I hope they know how blessed they are to have you, to fight for their future and their mindset. And the fact that you're a woman of God put on top of that, what a just gift for all of them to have you as the executive director of this program. So, thank you for everything you're doing. And all of you watching this, let's do what we can to support her. If you got kids, my son's 16, he's not reading those baby books anymore. We can put them to a good use. You could go to the website and donate. You can write letters. There's a lot of different options she's giving us. And, is it okay if they just email you and say, what else can I do to help? Is that acceptable too?
Yes, I so appreciate that. Let me just say one more thing. I appreciate this opportunity, Leanne, but let me just say I'm the one that's blessed. I'm blessed to be here to have this opportunity to lead, particularly in this season as we're watching the government doing different things regarding women and their bodies and things of that nature. Our DAPI daughters, in spite of it all, said yes to having a baby. And so I'm honored to stand and champion their desire to continue to wear the responsibility of their yes. They said yes and they didn't understand what was behind the yes. I'm willing to do that and I'm grateful to have this opportunity. So I hear you and I appreciate you saying that they are fortunate. It's me that I'm grateful to have this opportunity in my life to do this. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Outstanding. Well, if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm going to ask you a special request. Can you please give this a little thumbs up, like it, and share it with another woman? Because there should be programs like this all over the country. And I can't imagine the amount of young women that just give up and feel ostracized and they have no future. So it would be incredible to see something like this duplicated. So please share this. If you are in the Facebook group, same thing, invite some people to watch this. We need to get this information out. I've never heard of anything like this. And it is, she calls it unique. I call it the fabulous unicorn. And also you can leave comments. Dr. Doris Griffin here has been kind enough. She is in the Facebook group, so you can leave some messages there. She'll check in, questions, whatever you have. Or if you're on YouTube, you can leave some comments there as well. But I thank you all so much. And Dr. Griffin, thank you for everything you're doing. I hope more people copy what you do.
Thank you so much.
And just a quick note, we will not be here next Tuesday, the 16th, but we will be back on the 23rd. And I will not be around next week, so sorry about that. But on the 23rd, we will be having a special nonprofit, Make-A-Wish Foundation. And many of you have heard of that, but you might not know exactly how it operates and how you can impact and inspire and touch the life of a young child that is sick and facing really serious diseases. It's just an incredible thing. And we're going to talk about great things that they do and really wonderful ways that they make a difference for these kids. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dr. Griffin, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. Have a great day.